I think we're live, guys. So welcome to Lunch Bunch for this Tuesday. And we've got some awesome things ready to go. We have two presenters, so we're going to not waste any time. First presenter today is Samantha Baldwin, and she is at Farmington Elementary, and she's going to share how she uses Zoom Breakout Rooms. So this is really exciting. Samantha, if you're ready, you can go ahead and get started.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining in, and I'm excited to just kind of share. I'm still learning every single time that I do something, so this is kind of just where I'm at with breakout rooms and being able to start slowly incorporating other ideas and other types of websites during breakout rooms. So I'm excited to share with you all and hope you can take something away from it. The first time I ever used breakout rooms was actually as a student during a Kagan training, and when I saw that, I thought it was really neat how that kind of stuff happened and how Zoom was allowing that stuff to happen, and it made it feel so much more like a classroom. So I immediately started thinking, because my classroom runs so much on group work and group discussion, and that was just something that I felt if we did go in TI that we needed to keep the norm of the classroom. So I was so excited to see breakout rooms, but I was kind of hesitant because I was like, I hope that's not a lot of work and upkeep on having to do that. But it's seriously one of the easiest things I have to do in breakout rooms, and the kids absolutely love it. They're all the time getting on Zooms asking if, oh, are we going to do a breakout room today? Or, oh, can we do this? Or I really enjoy them. So I use breakout rooms a lot for group discussion, and then I've also found a free online version of whiteboards that I can use as part of the breakout rooms. Now, one of the reasons I use breakout rooms is for that safe environment. I know we get on here a lot and talk about that safe environment. Kids are more applicable to talk in groups of 2 and 3 rather than groups of 15, 16, 17. And sometimes now when we're Zooming with 2 homerooms together, so that kind of puts them out of their comfort zone. So I really enjoy using breakout rooms just to get kids talking, and I am shocked at how much they do love it. But when I'm able to join those breakout rooms, they are talking about what I'm expecting them to talk about. You know, they're not in there goofing off, and they're not in there just talking about anything and everything, but most of the time when I do join those rooms, they are working on exactly what I have them working on. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to show you kind of what I use during the breakout rooms. So I'm going to share that. Now, this is a website called Whiteboard.fi, and I use this to kind of work on that group collaboration. So I always go back to Kagan. I think when I first started here, Kagan was becoming big in Graves County, so I feel like I came in on the perfect time because I love Kagan and I use it all the time. But this lets kids collaborate. It lets them see kind of what other kids are doing when I share my screen with them, but it also lets them work on whatever they're working on in their groups. But I like Whiteboard for the main reason that I get to watch in real time what they're doing while they're working in their groups. So if I see a whiteboard not being filled out, or I see a clump of whiteboards not being filled out, I can jump in that group real quick and be like, hey guys, what's going on? What's the issues here? So I kind of have control over, just like if I were to walk up to a group and be like, okay, where are we struggling at? Where can I help you, or to get us going? So I really like that. It did take me a little while to get used to the format of Whiteboard because I wasn't really for sure, is it something that saved students' work, or is it something that I created a classroom and could always go back to that classroom? So I've realized that anytime I use Whiteboard, you always have to create a new class, and that's kind of why I wanted to wait and do this when I could share, so in case you ever wanted to use Whiteboard, you could kind of see the setup of it. So what I did is I just went to Whiteboard.fi, and then each time I have to, and this is something that I'm still working on and learning as well. So it's working for me for what I'm doing at this point, but there's still a lot for me to learn on this too. So I just go to New Class, And each time I type in a new class, so if I'm doing 3rd grade, I'll go for 3rd grade. 4th grade, I'll go for 4th grade. And then I create my new class. So then when it's created, it will give me my URL to copy. So I just copy that. And Dana, I'm going to share it if you will share it with the group, please. Then I will post this group or this URL in their Google Classroom, and then it will let them join. So if you will click on that, it should have you join as a student. And then I keep my whiteboard up, so then as the students join, I can see who's all joined and who hasn't.
Okay, Samantha, it is in the
Yes.
chat. So anybody who's watching, if you'll just copy that from the chat and open a new tab, you'll be able to join.
Yes, ma'am. And it should ask them to put their name and then yes. Awesome. So I see Kaci and Nikki, Miss Gregory. Oh, and I see Kaci. She's one that I would have to be like, okay, you're drawing on your whiteboard. And that's another thing. I do let them, like, especially my first ones to log on, that kind of is an incentive. They have a couple seconds while the others are still joining to kind of draw on their whiteboard, play around with it, and doodle for a couple minutes. But like I said, and then you can, I like this because it's also talking about that safe environment. I have the option if I do want to share my screen. So say we're collaborating on group work and I might want to bounce ideas off of each other where this whiteboard might have some good ideas that this whiteboard might not see. They're able to share those ideas, but I might not want to share their names. I can always hide the student names and still share my screen where their names aren't being shown. So always like that option. But going back to working this with the breakout rooms, I can always keep my screen up and the kids are seeing their screen individually to where they're not focused on so much looking at their peers or looking at each other's faces. They're focused on what's on their whiteboard to help them stay focused on the assignment and whatever question we have posed, which I work with 3rd and 4th grade, so a lot of it is still like learning how to maneuver between the tabs, learning to follow directions, to understand what's being asked. So how this kind of works is I will tell them or pose the question to them first, give them their breakout room, let them start writing on their whiteboards, and then that option where you can give out like a group or send out a discussion to all of your breakout rooms, I will pose them that question again. Like, this is a reminder, this is what you're doing during this time, this is what I want to see on your whiteboard. So this, I think, is just really good experience of computer maneuvering, following directions, doing things in multitask order as well. So, but yeah, and then, if, like I said before, if I see...
Okay, if I got a question here, Samantha. So
yes,
as a student, I see like a graph sheet. So I've made a graph sheet on my whiteboard. If you see that,
okay.
Have you used graphing or any type of math with your kids or graphing?
So right now we have mainly just done, now I've seen kids play around with the graphing, but we in class have not used the graphing because we are still just writing out like equations or fractions or just using the pen stick. So I have not used the graphing in the classroom yet. But it's kind of like I'm in control of them. You know, I can clear all the student whiteboards once I'm ready for them to move on. And then I can invite a co-teacher if I want to. I do see options where I could save them all as PDFs if I ever needed to. I've had some kids play with the music. I've seen the music pop up before. So it looks like it could be definitely for a variety of things. But besides saving it to PDF, once I close the room, I can't get back in that room. So each time that I bring this up, it's like for a quick formative assessment. It wouldn't be anything that I would need to go back and like look at their data or see how they did. It would be something that like for a numbered heads together or something like that where I would want the real time, this is what my answer is for this question, then we can move on to the next one. But so far it's worked really good.
Almost come to our end of your
Yes.
Samantha, but I love how it can be used in multiple areas. I love that somebody just showed how it can be used in music. So me as a teacher, I could check understanding, like I know we teach piano here at high school. I know music in the elementary schools and middle. So you could have students write music or check for understanding of make a G, a C on there. So I think that is really important that we can use it in multiple areas. So just in closing, each time I use Whiteboard, I'm going to have to create a new class. So each day I create a new class.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a way to save anything?
So I was looking at the options. I think you can save it as a PDF, but it would be each individual whiteboard, so it wouldn't be as a classroom.
But if you're progress monitoring students or you're keeping data on a student, then that would be super important to have and keep. So awesome job, Samantha.
Thank you for your invite. Thank you. It was great.
Everybody, make sure you reach out to her if you've got any questions. But I love that it can be used in breakout rooms and I can monitor what's going on, even if I'm not in that room. So.
Absolutely.
I'm back. All right. So Miss Custer, digital learning coach at the middle school, would like to intro one of their fabulous teachers, Miss Harshman. Take it away.
Yes, so I loved Samantha's tools with providing ways to monitor what's going on in breakout rooms when the teacher's not in those rooms. And I've seen some great tools coming out of our 7th grade team, which Kaci Harshman is a part of. She teaches 7th grade social studies, and she's got some tools that are going to work right alongside those breakout rooms as well. So welcome to Kaci.
Hi guys, I'm sorry. People tend to tell me I'm really country, so please bear with me as best I can. I am excited to kind of be here. Let me get this pulled back up. I closed my tab here. One thing I think that I kind of want to share with you all is how you even start the breakout rooms. Sam, I'm not sure how many students you guys had for, oh, there it is. Have jumping on there, but we can have up to about 50. I think we've had 50 to 60 students jumping on. So this might be maybe geared more towards period learning if you have more students jump on at one time than you do just 10 to 15 at a time. So if you would look like whenever you do have a Zoom or something like that, I'm not sure what platform you're using, but for Zoom, the way it works is down at the bottom whenever you create a meeting, you open it up and down at the bottom, it's going to have other options. It's going to have like the ... And so you click on it and it's going to say breakout rooms. And one of the things that's really important for me specifically is that you click to be able to do it manually. Because like Samantha, Miss Gregory's on here, but Kagan is what drives even my instruction virtually. I'm thankful for that training and what's kind of pushed even how I do things on virtual learning. So my students now know, and even actually, I think that Friday before we knew that we were going to go virtual, I spread them out in the room. I put them in on each class period. I spread them. I kind of picked a leader for the table, and the students are kind of knowing that they're the leader, the people in charge of their breakout room. And so we put them in random places in the hallway, trying to spread them out to show them what this looked like. And I did what we use in my classroom is Pear Deck. I wish that I could be a salesperson for Pear Deck because I love it. It's immediate feedback. It's also something that I can see exactly where the students are. I don't have any questions about it. They can draw. It's kind of like the whiteboard. except for the whiteboard, I think is going to be one where it's like an immediate, you can change it and change your question. Pear Deck, you're kind of stuck with it. So you kind of have to be really prepared beforehand. It works both for students that can get on Zoom and students that cannot. So one of the things that I mentioned on my slide, and I'll just kind of talk through that. I guess, sorry, what I was saying is whenever you do your breakout rooms, you pick to choose manually to create them. And so for me, I have 6 classes, and what I'll do is I'll probably start my meeting about 10 minutes before it's supposed to, 5 to 10 minutes before it's supposed to. And then I literally just go in and I label them how I want them to go. So 1A, 1B. So there's two breakout rooms per class period. And then as the students start joining in, I start putting them in those classes because they're already used to talking to those friends and those peers. So it's a safe environment. And so because of that, it creates a place where they're not uncomfortable to talk about social studies or talk about things that are educational. And I just kind of get them situated in there. For me, what I do is I kind of give like a little brief overview, maybe 5 to 6 minutes of what they're supposed to be doing. But a lot of my classroom is them creating or coming up with their own understanding of things. I give them really tough and difficult questions. All of my students will tell you my classroom is really fun, but it's really hard because they have really tough questions. And so it's so vital that they work together. And so I'm going to share this little screen here because it kind of has some tips. I think this is what you all, I don't know, can they see this already, Dana? I'm sorry. I could have already seen this or no? Is this okay that I did it this way?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. So I know it's a lot of writing here. I just try to sum it up. The breakout rooms have high expectations. The culture was set up previous to going into virtual, but I know that it can be brought about if they know that they're going to get to talk a lot more. We all know those kids that literally want to unmute themselves 5,000 and 6,000 times and just want to talk and show your cat and do all the things. But in a smaller group, they can do that and it's not as annoying and they're still able to get things done. The Pear Deck, and I put a link on there for them to be able to, for you guys, I can send that to you guys. But if you don't have some kind of platform like this, it does make things a lot easier. If I have 50 students on a Zoom, I'm able to break them up by class periods, usually about 2, maybe 3 per class period. And my 1s and my 2s for Kagan are the ones that I kind of, I don't really think that there's any reason to do that. Let me just tell you, I think the main thing is when you do have a breakout room, turn your waiting room off. That's one of the key things that I learned. Because if you're in a breakout room and you don't turn your waiting room off, you have to get out of the breakout room to let a student into the meeting, to let a student into a breakout room. That's one of the main key things that I have. So anyways, other than that, if they don't see value in it and they don't see value in being able to share with each other, they're not going to join in. So that's kind of all I have.
Hey, Kaci, I went ahead and gave them
the link,
Pear Deck link. If you want to, we got a few minutes.
Yes, I can show you. This lesson actually was what they did today. It's going to be on student paced. If I take it off student paced, my students will probably freak out and I'll get 6 emails within the time period of us sitting here talking. So it's loading here. I'm sorry. But what they would do, the student that decides or that we talked to about being the leader would share their screen. A lot of times this works too. If their internet's glitching or if they're struggling, it kind of allows them to all be on the same page. So they would share their screen and each student would be able to type in on their own screen, but they could talk through the answers as they go. So they are able to do this. And one of the things that I'm really specific about is that like my students that do probably know the answers cannot dump the information. So if I know I have an Allison Gregory in my group, Allison, you cannot talk. You can only ask them questions. So then that allows them to kind of make sure everyone else is learning and not just getting the work from someone else. So what we've seen with this is that because they've had so much success in doing this, and like a lot of my stuff is formatted the same way it was before class, before school. You all can't see, but on this screen even, it's got a spot where they fill out the information. This is the way I would see it. So your all screen is going to have a place for you to type in information. I don't know if that's everything you want me to share. And I have videos in there. The videos can be put into the instruction. So
No, I think that's great.
As the teacher, are you able to see all their work on Pear Deck on one screen, or do you have to go to each?
Yes, I will. I can see all of it. Hold on just a second. Let me share with you one more time my view of it. And Pear Deck's really awesome. Well, it had, I don't know if it's still doing it, but it's got a 90-day free trial. So I'm going to come down here to this slide. So this is what the students, if I were doing this in class, this is what they would see on the big screen. But then on their screen, it's going to have the same thing plus a little box to the side. So they have to put something in. So I can then push this button right here, and it takes the safety. It keeps the safety. It doesn't show their name, but I can see every single thing. Now, on my own dashboard, I can see their name and exactly it like does it by time or by student. So it's pretty awesome. And there's also you can do it where you can draw, like if they need to do matching things or I'm trying to think if I have a drawing one on here. I don't think I have a drawing one on here. I'm sorry, but I can do one. Well, no, I can't. It's going to mess up my Pear Deck, but you can draw.
I have a question real fast. The free version though, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the free version, you as a teacher, you can't see who's answering.
No, now Pear Deck, praise Jesus. I'm sorry guys. If you don't have Pear Deck and you have to create your own stuff, like it literally changes your life. The 90-day version here, like I used it up until November and it was exactly what I was used to having. So yes, the 90-day version will let you see their student name and all the things, but it will obviously expire. Now they may change that back as they want people to sign up for it, but
yeah.
But this version did work completely this last time around for me because I just waited till I needed it in November.
All right. Any questions from the chat?
No, we don't have any questions, but we had up to like 25 people watching you, Samantha and Kaci, and getting ideas. And that's what this whole thing's about, is sharing tools to make our jobs easier. And it's not about doing everything, but choosing what's going to work for you in the classroom as we go through these Tuesday, Thursday. So we just appreciate you taking your lunch to share.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. And thanks everybody for joining us on YouTube. Thursday, we have Mr. McNeely up, and he is going to show us a tool. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but it looks pretty cool. I've never heard of it. So be sure to join us at 11 and watch him share that cool tool. And a couple of things before we get off here. One, this week is Hour of Code. So get your students on coding, go to Hour of Code, and just put it in your Google Classroom or Schoology and have them explore coding just for an hour. And I'm sure from my experience that they will get on their own time because it's super fun and they will definitely enjoy it. And all grades can code. So the next little blurb I have is if you're using any of these tools, share them on our hashtag GC Forward. Share a picture, a little explanation, and every morning just jump on there and check it out. And so that way you're learning new things every day. You're sharing with people in our district. And if you get on the hashtag, we've got some really beautiful magnets that I would love to hand out. And also, if you're really spectacular on that GC Forward hashtag on Twitter, I've got some beautiful stickers that I would love to come bring you. So please share. And I really appreciate Samantha and Kaci today. Sometimes getting out of their comfort zone, going live on YouTube to share with our district. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you on Tuesday. Oh, I'm sorry, Thursday. Today is Tuesday. Going backwards. Thanks, guys.